Hey there, guys. It's Kage Tack coming at you for, well, day 4, War 4 of Guild Wars. And, yeah, today's weird. I mean, as you guys can see, we've fallen a bit in the ranking to 900 because we only scored, I think, 34k or 340k the last round. But, I don't know. I mean, this team we went against today, they had stronger formations and more power across the board, but their formation sucked. It just got we steamrolled them. It's just which on paper, maybe if we handled this differently for the formation, this would have been a tougher team. But because we were kind of able to read through what they were doing, I mean, we've almost completely decimated them. Right now, we have what? We have 39 tokens left. I don't know how many of those are legitimate attacks we could still use, and we're down to 2 defenses left against these guys, which this one doesn't really have any damage on it, but the other one, we might take out one more building before the end. So, I mean, we came close to our third wipeout on this one. The other team, I don't remember how many defenses they had left. I think it was like 10, maybe a little less, but yeah, so I don't know. I mean, again, this fight felt like it should have been harder just with like what they had in terms of everything as well, because their level spread was pretty pretty good. I mean, we've got I think 3 level 20s, and I think I saw one here. Yeah, how many level 20s do we have? Let me look at that real quick. We got one level 20, 29, 2, 29, 3, 29. Okay, we got 4 level 20s. So yeah, they had the better level spread and everything, but and they could have 30 people, but I think they only had 27 for this war because these two were bots, and I think yeah, so they had bots in the back, so they only had 270 tokens. So not only was their offense less troubling because less people, but their formation seemed easier too. So that probably played into it a bit as well, which I don't remember if the other team had any bots or maybe they just had one, but yeah, bots instead of actual people just makes it easier on the offense to get some extra hits in. So yeah, couple of things people were talking about today, like, hey, Kage, what's your formation? I'll never tell. And it's like, why? Well, well, kids, I want you to do your own thing. I'm not the type of guy who's going to try and be like, well, you should do this, this, and this, because to be honest, those aren't people. I don't know. I wouldn't trust those people, especially if they're competitive, especially if they're trying to be the top in the game. It's like they're going to give you some generic advice, and what they're going to do is going to either be different or something else. Is my experience in other games I've played. I can't say that here because again, I just do my own thing, and I encourage other people to experiment and do their own thing. And people were also like, well, Kagi, you show off the losers formation. Well, how many people are going to be like, man, I'm going to use this guy's formation here. He just got effed up good. Like, no, you're not going to take this. You're not going to use this formation at all. You're just, it's not going to happen. Like, man, I'm going to go down to the loser circle and grab this, and then we're going to run with that next week. Like, no, you're not. So, you know. So if you do want to find out what I'm using, you're going to have to fight me. That's gonna have to. That's what it's gonna be, and it may not be the same formation because I alternate with my co-lead. He has his strategy and how he does things in his formation and setup, and I have mine. So we have two different things we play with and try. And so far, both of them have gained success. We've won all of our matches with our strategies. Oh, hey, Mochi's here to see us too. What you doing, Guild War Cat? You want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi? So yeah, I'm not really sure about the difficulty slider. I mean, it seemed like it should have been there, but at the same time, I I don't know. They only had 27. Did we get matched with them because of the power scaling? Since we had a couple of level 20s and they only had the one. It's some things are still up in the air, and I mean I've seen some mismatches. People have been. There are some one-sided fights out there. There are some pretty bad one-sided fights out there. I've seen like just teams getting stomped like 900,000 to 100K, if even that. So I'm not sure what triggers that either, or how that's going to be addressed or handled in the future. But you know, God forbid, at least give people an opponent they could fight back against to some extent. Like that's that sort of thing demoralizes people. But again, I don't know if Granted, they say, hey, matchmaking is based off this, this, and this, but I don't know if not enlisting does play a part in it in some weird way. If or the other flip side, that doesn't have anything to do with matchmaking. If you have people who don't show up to the war and do fights, like let's just look at our tokens here left. We've got 39 tokens left. I can say about 7 to 9 of those tokens are from people who don't have anything left. The other 28 to 30, I don't know the status of those tokens. I don't know if they have a bunch of iron units left, so them trying to, bombard one of these last two defenses would do anything. I don't know. But I'm hoping, again, that we get something where we can see who has what left and strategize more, maybe even micromanage a bit, which, well, that's running into some dark territory there. Because I don't know if people want to do that. But again, this system, this war has definitely changed things for people because, I would used to see looking at guilds like, well, 7 days inactive gets a kick, or 14 days. Somebody doesn't play for a week, somebody doesn't play for 2 weeks. They've missed half or most of the war, and they've just taken up a slot for somebody who can fight for you. So, people worry about, low levels being discriminated against. Don't worry too much about the low levels. Worry about the people who don't log in every day, because those are the people you're not going to see in a guild. Because I don't care if you're level, 20, 25 for the most part. If you're logging in every day for a guild and growing and helping them, great. If you're level 45 who logs in once a week, you're useless. Sorry, you're not doing anything for that guild. So, and I know some people have like attachments to old guilds they've been in and other things, but you can't complain too much about the mode if you're in a guild with like 15 people out of 30, and then you have the other half are like under level 20 or never log in, and then you get matched up against somebody who has an active roster or has some coordination, knows what they're doing. That's a you problem as well. I know it's tough to say, but I mean, if you're worried about this mode, matchmaking and stuff, and getting into some good fights, look at your surroundings first. If your surroundings don't have a full roster, I mean, you have like 100 something tokens left at this time of day for this war that ends in 3 hours. That may not be the place you want to be in if you want to win wars. If you don't care about the wars, hey, it doesn't matter. But please don't bitch about them. I mean, please don't bitch about hey, my guild doesn't win. Well, why? Oh, we have a bunch of level 15s, and these other people, they don't log in, and we have all these, effort logging in, filling up seats. They all play a big part in this. If these guys had another 2 or 3 people, this score would be vastly different right now. This score would be a lot closer. Even with how we took out their formation, we would have had to fight more actual people in the back lines, and they would have more people to attack us with. So you got to take these things into consideration if you want to be serious about the mode. If you don't, again, doesn't matter. Get your free rewards where you can. Losers still get a cool chest. Great. You know. Although, I wonder, dude. Here's a question for you guys, and I don't actually know the answer to this, but if somebody doesn't enlist in the war, do they still get the loser chest? Do they actually say that in the tooltips? Let's look at this real quick. I'm curious. Um, is there a mention of it? Let's see. We're doing a bit of reading here, boys and girls. Doesn't mention it here, and I don't remember if it was in the explainer. Yeah, I don't see anything else about that. Yeah, it doesn't make mention. So I don't know. I don't know if they still get rewards for not doing for diddly. If they do, cool, great. But at the same time, it's like, yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, I think we've pretty much covered everything for today. I mean, I would like to see some other buffs for the buildings for maybe next season, or some different buildings or some things. I I am kind of curious to see what they do with artillery, if they are going to make sure that the buff actually affects the actual square as well, which that could get very interesting. That you could literally set up. I don't know. It just gave me an idea. Well, I'm gonna muddle that over for next season potentially, but I don't know. I mean, I'm still surprised we're gonna go 4-0 as a new player guild. It's just somebody coming into this game pretty fresh. I did not think we would win even one match. So, you know, even if we lose number 5 or number 6 at this point, it's like my guys are proud enough anyway. We beat up a bunch of guilds. We even took out some guilds who had higher level players than us, like level 50s and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the main thing to keep an eye on would be in this mode is, again, just your battlefield level. What level are you doing? Are your guys able to fill that mode out? Bringing a bunch of level 20s into a battlefield level 3, that just feels like a bad time for them. So, you know, I'd probably say you'd want like level 35s or 40s for like Battlefield 2 or 3, but that's just me. I mean, I've seen some people have success with the matchmaking by having lesser power teams and them fighting somebody else who's severely underpowered in the mode. So the matchmaking does seem to work to some extent, and it can definitely get you a lot more points and boost you up on a leaderboard that way. But at the same time, it could also end you up in a situation where you're getting wiped, just completely decimated, and the other team is sitting there with like 900,000 points to your 100k, which, yeah, that's in for a bad time. But otherwise, I think that's. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I had here. Again, I never really script any of this stuff, and this is kind of like a little, docu-series as we go for the war. Which, another thing, I this feels very long and drawn out for you, you know there's something else that's been on my mind for a minute too. The I don't know, maybe the rewards overall don't feel that great for the amount of time put into the mode. Because I mean, right now, yeah, even let's say we fall out of top 1,000, what would the next box be? So it'd be 6, 4,500, or 1. What would this be? 750 more. I don't know, it just feels like for the amount of time put in for this and effort and everything, I feel like the rewards could be a bit better. I don't know, maybe even the daily rewards could be a little bit nicer just for everything people have got to go through. Heck, maybe an extra book or extra badge or something for people too, or I don't know. And then the shop itself, I mean, the shop seems kind of nice for some of these units, but like, how many do I need for Rob? I need 7,200, 14.4k, 14.4k to get enough to almost upgrade him. And then right now we're at what? Is that 55, 80. So that's with winning 3 battles, doing my attacks before wipeout. I mean, I might get enough for the 14.4k. I don't know. It's just, yeah. I was hoping that the shop would actually have more books in it besides the free one, or something else I'd like to spend on. Don't get me wrong though. I might actually spend them on Rapone or even Ulf at some point, because either of those units isn't bad. But yeah, I don't know. Just for the amount of time, I mean, because let's put it this way, doing like TA for a couple of days, and if you get the last box, you get a requisition scroll there. That can be a lot less effort and time for a pretty good reward. Heck, even to be honest, even a better reward in some cases. But I don't know. I would say maybe they need to look at the reward as well. But I think that's about it then. So we'll see again when the next war comes up what we're fighting against, if we're going to be able to win. I'm assuming the last 2 matches are going to be a real dogfight, because things are scaling. Here, it just seems because the enemy only had 27 and their formation wasn't the greatest, we were able to get to the medbay quick and just they folded like a house of cards. So it definitely made day 3 feel like, I don't know, a tougher match than day 4. But day 3's team compositions were weaker than day 4's, but their formation was stronger. So yeah, so there's other things that go into this too besides the matchmaking. I mean, there is also how you approach things and what you do and how. Yeah, there's other things I need to look at too. I'm still parsing over the data from what people have been giving me, see if I can get a good handle on this and see what's going to happen going forward. But anyway, I've been rambling on for enough. I want to thank you guys again for watching this little series of mine, and also for the support. We are getting close to that 1K mark. I think we're like 105 away now, maybe even a little bit less as of the recording. So yeah, we're gonna definitely, I think maybe within like a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, we'll hit the 1K goal. Maybe even a little sooner if I do some other videos, but we'll see. Anyway, with that being said, guys, I will see you on the next one. Thank you again. Take care.